Good afternoon, Mr. Presiding Officer. In today's meeting, we have here in plenary our Vice Chairperson, Jesus Crispin Remulla, Deputy Speaker Dan Fernandez, and the Vice Chairperson Michael Defensor as the Presiding Officer. Joining us in Zoom, we have Representatives Romeo Halisos Jr., Emery Lollipop Duano Dizon, Macnel M. Lusotan, Raul Buhay Tupas, Sandro Gonzalez, Claudine Diana Bautista, Marvin Marino, Gabriel Mordado Jr., Vicente Veloso III, Muhammad Khalid Dimaporo, Maricel Natividad Nagaño, Representative Florida Robes, Deputy Minority Leader Joseph Stephen Paduano, and Representative Ed Christopher Go. Your Honors.
Thank you, Committee Comsec. Can you please recognize now our guest for this afternoon's hearing?
Your Honors, from the Department of Tourism, joining us here in plenary is Mr. Woodrow R.R. Magiling Jr. and the NCR Regional Director for NCR. We also have Attorney Ryan P. Oliva as Legislative Liaison Officer. From the Department of Social Welfare and Development, we have with us today Yusek Danilo Pamonag, ASEC Lenda Relova, ASEC Rodolfo Encabo, and the Division Chief Irene Malong, member of the TWG of LSI. Joining us via Zoom is Yusek Amy Torrefranca Neri and Director Janet P. Armas. From the Department of Labor and Employment, present today, Your Honor, is Yusek Benjo Santos Benavides. From the PNR of the Philippine National Railways, we have Attorney Maria Criselda Ecalnea. And from the Department of Justice, we have Attorney Eduardo M. Vinuya, State Counsel 1. Your Honors.
Thank you, Comsec. Do we have the IATF and the DOH with us this afternoon?
We apologize, Your Honor, but we did not invite any resource person from the IATF and DOH.
Thank you, Comsec. As we await the arrival of our chairperson, I would like to ask Comsec, would there be a presentation from the respective agencies of what they have done and the steps that will be undertaken as regards our locally stranded kababayans?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, the PNR manifested that they're going to make a presentation as well as the SWD. And the OT, Department of Tourism, Your Honors. We have three agencies that manifested their intention to make a presentation, Your Honors.
Thank you, Comsec. With the indulgence of our honorable members, the Honorable Remulla, our senior Vice Chairperson, if it's possible, if we can hear out the presentations of the respective departments as we await the arrival of our chairperson. I understand the speaker may also be giving a statement this afternoon as regards our locally stranded individuals. So with that, Comsec, can we now recognize the Department of Tourism for their presentation? DOT is recognized. Para po sa ating Department of Tourism, si Regional Director R.R. Makiling will be making the presentation. Kasama rin po niya si Ryan Oliva, Ms. May Mendoza, Ms. Jennifer Factora, and Ms. Olivia Maniti of the Department of Tourism. Mr. Makiling is our NCR Regional Director. Mr. Makiling is now recognized.
Thank you, Your Honor. On the part of the Department of Tourism, Your Honor, allow us to share a few of the engagements we've had over the past few months during this pandemic. On behalf of Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat, thank you for inviting the Department of Tourism to be part of this congressional inquiry and the government's actions on the locally stranded individuals, of which tourists are included during the crisis brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. At the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, the DOT has mounted sweeper flights to and from National Capital Region and various domestic gateways, following the issuance of the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Resolution number 29 on April 28, which authorized the DOT to organize sweeper flights for local stranded tourists. The department coordinated with local airlines to mount flights to Metro Manila and a few to Clark from provincial airports in Butuan, Caticlan, Cebu, Davao, El Nido, Siargao, Cagayan, Tacloban, Iloilo, and Puerto Princesa. These are the major tourism destinations in the country. A total of 29 Mercy flights have been mounted by the DOT and its marketing arm, the Tourism Promotions Board, amounting to over 10 million pesos, and have benefited at least 9,420 tourists and locally stranded individuals. In NCR alone, between May 1 and May 2, some 1,100 distressed tourists from major domestic gateways aboard 9 sweeper flights mounted by the department and made possible through the efforts of the TPB were arriving at the NCR via Manila International Airport. A total of 1,049 travelers reached Manila in succeeding schedules. On Friday alone, 180 tourists from Puerto Princesa, 60 from El Nido, and 144 from Boracay. The biggest chunk came from the combined groups from Region 11 and Region 12. A total of 202 stranded domestic tourists in Davao and Socsargen boarded the Davao-Manila Superflight sponsored by the DOT. All right. The 169 passengers from all over Davao region and 33 passengers from Socsargen region had been stranded in Mindanao for over 48 days since the enhanced community quarantine was enforced in Manila and in Mindanao. 7 buses complete with DOT-accredited tour guides on board chartered by the regional office were utilized by the DOT at an area to bring home the tourists or the LSIs who are mostly residing in Metro Manila and Mega Manila, Greater Manila area. Complementing these chartered buses are 3 buses from the Philippine Coast Guard and 5 e-jeepneys of the DOTR. The DOT has kept its commitment to the Filipino brand of service and hospitality as exhibited by the agency's successful initiatives to assist a total of 36,947 stranded foreign and domestic tourists since land, air, and sea travel restrictions were placed by the government as a precautionary measure to stop the spread of the COVID-19. To date, the DOT was able to help 27,000 tourists in terms of coordinating the national, local government agencies and embassies and airline companies in mounting super flights. Meanwhile, the DOT also provided one-time cash assistance to qualified domestic tourists whose air and land tickets were affected by the ECQ implementation. So at least that's 2,000 pesos per tourist that they can use for food and other while they are stranded in the regions. Okay. All right. If I can share to you the screen right now. Oh, that's, for instance, this is a particular, can we go back to the 4th slide? So this is an example of a 360-degree cycle of 5J Airbus Manila, Davao, Manila, sometime May 6 superflight. So from Manila, we brought in passengers heading for Davao, a total of 275 packs. Make it quick, Nix. So just run it down, Nix. So we assisted in the airport, upon boarding, etc. and then until the plane reached in Davao, and then it returned to Manila with LSIs. These are domestic tourists. Go next. So upon reaching Manila, they underwent rapid testing before they are brought to their different homes in Metro Manila and Greater Manila area. So good thing PCG was there. The OSS at the airport at NAIA was there to assist and provide rapid testing upon arrival at the airport before they go back to their communities. And we provided as well food packs for all the tourists. So, Your Honor,